Hello. Welcome to LRH Wellness Book Club Edition. It's our first one. We're talking about hood feminism today. Honestly, not my favorite. I'm gonna be straight, not my favorite. And we're gonna get into it. I'm gonna introduce the next book for February. And let's get into it, okay? So, hood feminism. Why I don't like it is that I'm just like, who is the audience? And if you look at the book club webpage on my website, you'll see an article about this actually. It was a book review. And I actually really, really agree with it because who is the book for? If the book is for Black women, you're telling us what I already know. Shit's rough. That issues like hypersexualization, gun violence, food insecurity, I understand why those are feminist issues. I know that. I want you to tell me how I can find a way to fight those things from a feminist lens, I guess, instead of just a lens of poverty, a lens of anti-Black society, So if this book is for Black women, which is how it's proposed, I feel like a Black woman is more inclined to pick it up than just a white person. It's just more of what I already know. The audience should be white women because a lot of this book focuses on the things in which white women are doing that sabotage minority women in this fight for feminism and this feminist ideal. And so honestly, this book review is probably going to be a little short because I'm just not a fan, and I think that a lot of the other articles I posted do a lot more justice in describing the issues, but also the ways in which we can think of feminism from a lens that is pro-Black and not this feminist lens. But there were certain parts that did resonate with me. I'm not going to sit here and say it was all negative. So I'm going to pull up some things that I thought were really important and really good to talk about. But I think the section that most resonated with me was the part about her talking about hypersexualization of Black women, and especially Black girls, really. And so it's interesting because tomorrow there is a lunch at my school about, it's all about the hypersexualization of women in medicine. So as a doctor, as a medical student, as a nurse, what do you face? And I am really excited for that, and I'm sure it will bring up a lot, and maybe I'll go talk about that on another day. But that chapter really resonated with me. I mean, it's called, I'm looking at it right here. So it's called hashtag fast tail girls and freedom. And, I was called a fast girl. I hated it. It was so frustrating. And I think it was an identity that because everybody was putting it on me, I took it on. And I was like, well, fuck it. Let's, you want to race? I'm going to win, right? You want to call me fast? I'm going to be the fastest one out there. And I think it really resonated to me because it's just this labeling we get that's so difficult to strip away. And this hypersexualization and just feeling like your body is for the purveying of others, for others to look at. And I think that this chapter really beautifully explains what that's like and why that's an issue and how that relates to rape culture and how that relates to patriarchy. And it resonated with me on a personal level, but also I feel like, going back to it, that's something that white people need to read. This book, I really think white people need to read, white women need to read, because they are the ones who don't get this. And so it wasn't like I felt I'm seen in a new way, or I felt like this book was bringing me to a next level in understanding or community, or just feeling like I was seen or heard, because luckily, I have Black women around me who see and hear and share their experiences. So I guess if you don't have that community, that this book would really bring a lot to you. But I think personally, white women need to read that. And there were certain parts that I really had a problem with. Like, I'm trying to find a quote in specific. Oh, here we go. So on page 10, or well, page 10 of my version, she's talking about just like what it means to be nice. And she goes, I reserve nice for people who are nice to me, or for those who I know need it because of their circumstances. There are people in feminist circles who are nice, who are diplomatic, with soothing ways and warm personality that enables them to put up with other people's shit without complaining. They have their lane, and for the most part, I think they handle it well, but my lane is different. I had problems with this because I think in this book, she equates niceness, calmness, peacefulness with white women and just like the way in which they approach feminism. And in her effort of saying like how black women don't have the space to be nice, I think she portrays that angry black narrative. And I think the angry black woman stereotype, that has its own problems, and I think we should be angry, and I think feminism should make us really angry. But my issue is that, like, if you're reading this book as a black woman, to me, I was like, I am nice. I am really kind. And even when I'm upset, I'm nice. It's like, to me, that's something important, to be a kind, good person. Like, I am always kind. And I lead with kindness. But people don't take it as kindness. People take it as bitchiness when I'm honest, or they take it as aggressive when I'm like passionate. And so when she was saying like, I'm not kind, I'm not nice, I'm like, no, we are. Well, at least I am. And there's a role for that in my feminism, but white people don't accept that as kindness. They accept it as aggression when it's passion. They accept it as anger when it's frustration and when it's exhaustion. And so there was this moment in which I realized, like, the author, I think, uses stereotypes of black women to kind of flip it on its head, but to also explain why those stereotypes might be true. And instead, I just wish that there was, like, nuance given to the ways in which we respond and act. But ultimately, I do think this book really is supposed to be for white women. I think that the things that she says in here, there are better feminist theories that have been done and written by black women and black femmes that that incorporate more of like what we have to consider, because when we walk into a room, we're black first, and then we can be woman second. And I think that some of the feminist theories, like Africanism, womanist Africanism, I think it's called, I like put it in my in the like page, but I think that like that theories like that more encompass this idea that like to be a black woman means that you have these unique struggles, you have this intersectionality. Thank you, Dr. Kimberly Crenshaw, and that to be black and to be a woman means that you have to have this continuous balancing. You have to, feel community with your male counterparts. You can't be completely against them because there's so many of your struggles that are intertwined. But at the same time, the specific brand of misogynoir that we face is like perpetuated by these men we have to call our brothers and call our like co-patriots in this fight for equality, for freedom, for liberation. So I think that this book just does a disservice to all the ways in which black women have to be interdimensional with their feminism. And I just think the framing of feminism for black women is wrong. So I guess, I'll make another video on this because I don't really think I consider myself a feminist anymore. I think feminism wasn't designed for me. And it wasn't designed for the women I love the most. And it wasn't designed for minority women. And so I think just like this book is written in a way for white people to try and understand why they need to be inclusive with their feminism and why they're not doing it. But I don't think it's a book written for us. I would love to hear your thoughts. Go to the Facebook group, go to the comment sections, leave me your ideas. But Our next book is going to be The Sugar Jar, Create Boundaries, Embrace Self-Healing, and Enjoy the Sweet Things in Life by Yasmin Cheyenne. This book was on Well Read Black Girls website, and it's their January book club read. So I thought it'd be nice to do it. I think I'm going to try and do more of their books just because, like, they're doing it so well. Why reinvent the wheel? And, you know, for people who can't go to a local meeting or something, it would be nice to just, like, come share on YouTube and the Facebook group and all of that. So here is the little ditty on the back. 1 second. Okay. So imagine a glass jar filled with sugar on a counter. You are the jar and the sugar is your energy. If the jar has no lid, people can come in and take as much sugar as they want. Sometimes they spill that sugar all over. You may try to refill your jar, replenish your energy through self-care. But because there is no lid, no protective boundary, you cannot control how much of your vital force is being drained. The sugar jar metaphor is a powerful tool that wellness advocate and coach Yasmin Cheyenne has successfully used with her clients. Now in her debut book, she makes it available to everyone. Combining stories, exercises, and prompts, the sugar jar lets you see just how much energy you have and how much is being used by others. It helps you identify what depletes you, what restores you, and how to recognize destructive patterns. It empowers you to free yourself from performing for and serving others, teaching you to set boundaries to help you heal and recharge. The sugar jar frees you from the excess stress and exhaustion that wears you down. It allows you to unleash your authentic self, choose joy, and find lasting balance. A compassionate teacher, Cheyenne offers a unique and much-needed perspective. A former member of the Air Force working with victims of domestic violence, she has specifically designed her approach and questions about boundaries, self-care, and self-healing for readers of all backgrounds, and especially readers of color, whose stressors and life challenges have too often been excluded and overlooked. Cheyenne herself has felt unwelcome as a Black woman in a predominantly white wellness groups and retreats. Her inclusive message speaks to the needs of BIPOC readers and accepts them for who they are. Warm and honest, featuring a true and beautiful and inviting two-color design, the sugar jar shows you how to make small adjustments that can lead to big changes in your life. I'm excited to read this. I'm excited to do the work, you know, kind of like the workbooks and all that they say are in here. So make sure you check out the Well Together Facebook group so that we can discuss as a group as we read, but also come back in a month and you'll see the video here. Thanks, guys. As always, like, subscribe, share, comment. Make this a community that we can be well together. I'll catch you next time. Bye.